Hey, I want to also now bring in Bianco Research's Jim Bianco. And Jim, I do know that you're in the camp that says this is not transitory, so state your case.
This is definitely not transitory. Let's look at the dot chart. They're now looking for 2 Fed hikes into 2023 from 0 at the last meeting. What changed since the last meeting? We got 2 disappointing payroll reports and we got 2 monster inflation reports. So it seems like that the Fed is getting a little weak-kneed on the transitory idea about inflation, because they're not moving because the employment situation got better. It didn't since the last meeting, but the inflation situation got worse.
Well, to your point, they're looking at 2021 PCE inflation, 3.4% from 2.4%. I guess maybe then, Jim, we're learning, because they've never been specific about how much further above the 2% target they're willing to allow inflation to linger. I guess the answer is certainly not 3.4%.
Yeah, we don't know how much they're willing to go above their target, and we don't know what the word transitory means. I've joked that the word transitory means as long as the bond market is not bothered by it, but when the bond market is, then it's not transitory anymore. And so there does seem to be a little bit of an internal pushback at the Fed about this whole transitory idea, and I think it's starting to show up in the data. Hopefully the Q&A will kind of flesh this out. Are you guys really thinking that employment's going to boom and that's why you're going to raise rates? Or are you getting a little bit worried about the transitory nature of inflation? I think it's more about the transitory nature of inflation.
You know, we just had Larry Kudlow, who talked about the independence of the Fed, at least when it comes to green energy. For now, we'll see. But Janet Yellen made comments earlier today about inflation expectations, and she said they were transitory and that they, for the most part, they're measured. And I bring that up, Danielle, because it feels like that this Fed and this Treasury Secretary and this administration are working hand in hand at changing things, being focused on societal things that we've never really seen them try before. So I keep feeling that Jay Powell is going to find any excuse possible, no matter what, to stay the course to see if his grand experiment works. I don't know if he should be doing it or not, but this is my opinion on that. Would there be enough pushback to make him change his mind?
Well, you know, Charles, we'll have to see. But the fact of the matter is, you know, to Larry's point earlier, I don't think that there's a good comfort level for Jay Powell with delving into climate change, to say nothing of diversity. I mean, the spread between the black unemployment rate of 9.1% and the white unemployment rate right now of 5.1% is vast. But is that something that the blunt tools of monetary policy can address? Or is that something that should be better left in the hands, where it's always been, of fiscal authorities? You know, it's great to see, possibly for the American people, Treasury and the Fed working hand in hand. But again, there are certain places where Fed's policy tools simply cannot get to. And there needs to be recognition of that.
Jim, this morning the housing and permits numbers are off. They missed. Lately, weekly economic data has been drifting, actually moving a little bit lower. Is it too early to consider that maybe this reopening boom, the roaring 20s, maybe it's already fading?
No, it's not too early to consider it. It might be fading. If you look at the University of Michigan Consumer Confidence Report, when they asked if it's a good time to buy a house, it was an all-time low. When they asked why, they said soaring prices. The same thing with appliances, the same thing with cars. Basically, the public's in shock over the price increases that they've been seeing. And that was from a survey a month ago. And those price increases, at least at the consumer level, have not been stopping. And if they are in shock and they decide not to spend, then you are going to see some sort of stagflation where the economy starts to buckle or waver a little bit while inflation stays very high.
Jerome Powell is going to be stepping out any moment. He's here right now. Jim, Danielle, thank you very much. Now, here's Mr. Powell.